gonna hit record and then we can get started. Not with you, but you can try to practice with us. He definitely does the down dog every day. Okay, you can pin my screen. I think that's helpful. Other than, yet now he's jumping on right next to my laptop. Perfect. Well, that works. Find your mat. Find your mat. I have. Let me know if you can hear me. If you have trouble hearing me, definitely let me know. Unmute yourself. Other than that, I will try to speak up. Let's start in child's pose. So come onto your shins, find your mat. And then tuck your toes and just let your arms rest on the sides of your body with your palms probably facing up. You can also keep your arms forward if that speaks to you today and that feels better in your body. Maybe good in your shoulders and in your upper back. With your palms facing down, rooting into the ground. And then bring your forehead into the ground, your third eye, the midpoint in between your eyebrows. Your intuition. And you can close your eyes or look towards the mat. Soften your eyes, soften your gaze, and just simply make the connection with your breath here. I'm taking a couple deep breaths in and out, really creating calmness here, the beginning of our practice. It might be the first time for you today, really consciously listening to your breath, checking in with yourself and how you feel today. What's your emotional state of mind? What's your state of mind? How are you feeling today? And just take a few deep breaths here. And really let your belly balloon up and down and relax your arms. Now it's time to let go of any tension you might hold in your body. Relax your jaw and your forehead, really making the connection with Mama Earth here. Like your forehead is kissing the ground. Breathing in and breathing out, simply arriving here in the room and getting a little bit quiet before we start flowing and moving. And what I really want you to do is to, when we flow and we move through all those different postures, I like to ask you to remember that calmness in that quiet moment that you're creating right now here, that calm breathing, that deep and free breathing. And remember that whenever you might come into a challenging posture later on. And really start focusing and concentrating here on your breath and really using the breath as your main tool throughout the whole practice. So for me, asana, the yoga practice, the physical practice is really a body-based meditation. In vinyasa, we sync and link the movement with the breath, and that's really what we're going to try to do here today. And for today's practice, I hope it looks a little Christmassy here and gets you a little bit into the mood, the Christmas mood. And while I was practicing a lot meditation here in Germany, because we all know it sometimes can be challenging to come home if you don't live at home anymore. There are powerful family systems. I definitely feel like my brothers and my parents are one of the most important and intense teachers in my life, and they're challenging me. So I had to keep practicing so much meditation, and sometimes twice a day, to just ground myself. And there was this question that popped into my mind that was, since when did the tool become the master? And what I mean by tool is the tool of our mind wanting to problem solve, to think constantly and nonstop, plan, figure things out. When did that become the master? So mindfulness is a muscle, right? So let's work on that muscle today and strengthen the mindfulness muscle. Being gentle and kind with our bodies, flowing and moving through our practice, and weakening a little bit more the monkey mind, hopping from one to the other thing, overthinking and non-stop being busy thinking. From here, you can stretch your arms out in front of you if you haven't yet. And then bring your palms into the ground, tuck your toes, and come to all fours here. So we're gonna start warming up our body. Your wrists are right underneath your shoulders. Your knees right underneath your hip. You can gaze and look towards your mat. Tuck your toes or untuck your toes. See what feels good to you. Be gentle with your body and just see what works for you today. And then lengthen your left leg out behind you and lift your left leg up. Breathing here. And really, really, really the most important thing, keep the connection with your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Can you lift your leg a little higher, looking towards your mat, a long neck, a long spine, and then draw that energy back through your left leg. Inhale, can you lift your left leg a little higher, and a little higher. And then exhale, bend your left knee and draw your left knee towards your left elbow. Inhale back to center and up. Exhale, draw your knee towards your left elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, draw your knee towards your elbow. Inhale on your own breath, on your own pace, your own rhythm. Just warming up the spine here, moving through, flowing through a couple power cat-cows. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, round your spine, let your belly drop. Inhale, arch your spine. Exhale, rounding. 2 more here. Oh, by the way, I dropped a playlist in the Yoga Club channel if you want to play a little music while we're flowing here. Sorry, mentioning it a little late. Okay, and then keep your left leg lifted. Reach your right arm forward. Okay, and now really feel that energy drawing through your leg and drawing through your right arm forward and back. So pull here. Can you lengthen a little more and a little more forward, a little more backwards? And keep the connection with your breath, breathing deep and freely here. And can you lift your right arm a little more, your left leg a little more? Inhale and then exhale everything back to the ground. And let's flow through the other side. Reach your right leg back. Inhale. Arching your spine a little bit. Exhale, looking down towards your mat. All your 10 fingers really rooting firmly to the ground. And as you were to push against that imaginary wall behind you, can you arch your back a little more, looking towards your mat? And then flowing here through a couple power cat-cows. Bring your right knee towards your right elbow. As you exhale, inhale, shoot your leg back. Cow, exhale for cat. Inhale for cow. Exhale, cat. And simply follow your natural breathing, your own breath, your own rhythm here, your own pace. It might be slower. It might be faster. And just really linking movement with breath. And then doing a couple more here. So once we start breathing really deep, it's really hard to think about something else, right? If we have to breathe deep, we have to focus on our breath. It's really hard to be focused on your breath and be present right here, right now, and thinking about something else. Just notice here. One more here. And then reach your right leg back and your left arm forward. And now really feeling the energy drawing forward and stretching back and staying calm here. Breathe. Firmly pressing into your right strong arm. Can you lift your limbs a little higher? And a little higher. Don't forget to breathe. And a little higher, breathing here, deep and free. And then exhale back to center, all fours here. And then you can tuck your toes and lift your knees up and come into your first downward facing dog. Okay, some people like to pedal their feet from side to side here, bend their knees, taking their dog for a walk. And just taking a few deep breaths here. You can come into an elephant down dog style, bringing your feet mat with distance. And what I want you to do is keep a nice bend in your knees so everyone can jam their heels further into the mat, right? Just notice how much you need today. And notice if you have to come out of a pose. And notice if you're able to leave your ego outside of the room, outside of the door, and you can actually maybe come onto your knees or come into child's pose because what your yoga instructor is telling you is just way too much for you. And really wrap your underarms together here in down dog so that you come out of your shoulder sockets. Okay, tuck your navel in and like as there was a hook on your hips, your sacrum that's pulling you up towards heaven. Let your head dangle free. Okay, I'm also being extra challenged. I'm on my mom's mat, which is a little slippery. Extra challenge here. Breathe free. Okay, let's stay a little bit here in down dog. It's going to be a little bit of a longer hold here. I want to warm up the upper body and strengthen your upper back and your shoulders and your arms. Okay, so bring your left hand onto your right ankle as much as you can, looking towards the right. Okay, you can also bring your hand onto your knee. Or you can just simply stay in down dog. Classic variation or come into child's pose if that is way too much for you today. If you're grabbing your knee or your calf or your right ankle, maybe you can look underneath your right shoulder, armpit, towards the right, or even up towards the ceiling, and really feel that strength in your right arm. Keeping a nice bend in your knees and let your head dangle free. And most importantly, breathing free and deep. Using your breath. Okay. 2 more breaths here. And then exhale, if you're still with us, bring your left hand back into the ground. Whew. Okay, and then switching sides, bring your right hand onto your left ankle or calf. And then twisting open towards the left, looking maybe underneath your left armpit. Or if that is too much for your neck, you might look down and at your mat. Breathing deep. And that's really the practice of touching your body gently and with respect. Okay? And whenever your body is is speaking up and is telling you enough is enough in the language of sensation, then you've got to come out. If you're still with us, bring your right hand back into the mat, down dog. Okay, you can take a quick break in child's pose if this is too much on your arms, your hands, your wrists, or even too much pressure in your head. If you'd like to come with us for a few more breaths here, bring your left hand with the top of your left hand, bend your left elbow, bring the top of your left hand onto your spine. And place your hand as high as you can onto your back. Breathing here, 3-legged down dog, different variation. And while you're strengthening here our upper body and arms like crazy, you have a nice shoulder stretch here. Really nice if you're sitting all day on the desk. How are you breathing? One more breath and then bring your left hand back into the ground, down dog. Inhale for a moment, switching sides. Bring your right hand up onto your spine with the top of your hand really onto your spine and bending your right elbow. So you might notice a difference. Never, ever compare the sides, okay? If you've brought your right hand here in this situation, your left, it doesn't mean you need to do the same on the right. Okay, sides are different, and you might even notice if you're righty that it might be even harder to bring your hand up here because our right hand and arm might be a little more bulky than the left, and the other way around. Okay, one more breath, and then bring your right hand back into the ground. Whew. Okay. Now, inhale and bring your tailbone up towards the sky. Exhale, step by step in 6 inches increments. Step towards the top of your mat. And fold over. Deep fold in your hip. Maybe bring your palms into the ground. And I also like to highlight that everyone can jam their head further and closer towards their shins. Is that the goal? I don't know. You have to ask your body, and your body is definitely speaking to you in the language of sensation. So maybe if you're hyperflexible, you have to grab your ankles and draw your head a little further in between your legs. Maybe that's way too much for you. Maybe you're here on a block or on 2 blocks. And that's already enough for you. You don't need to go that deep to feel something, to get the benefit of forward fold of Uttanasana. Now lengthening and stretching the whole entire back of your legs. Breathing in and breathing out. Let your head dangle free. Relax your jaw. Maybe flutter your lips. And then from here, airplane wing your arms left and right and lengthen everything that's featherable. Everything. Reach your arms a little higher, still looking down, folding over your legs. And then with your next inhale, come all the way up towards the sky, and maybe you find the high prayer. Maybe you even like to back bend a little bit here. And exhale, airplane wing, forward fold down towards the ground. Inhale, glance up, come onto your fingertips maybe, long spine. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. And I said it in the last class, I think forward fold is so much underrated and undervalued because you want to be able to pick up your grandchildren. You want to be able to close your shoes when you get older. And then from here, inhale, long spine, exhale, forward fold, hop or step back into high plank. Okay, Press your hands firmly into the ground, tucking your navel in and pushing and drawing that energy back through your legs, through your heels, your wrists right underneath your shoulders. Plank here. Okay, you came here to feel something in your body, right? So let's feel something. Inhale, lower down halfway, tuck your chin, and your chin touches the ground, not your nipples. Inhale, come all the way back up, high plank. 2 more here. Inhale, chin into the ground, not your chest. Exhale, come back up, high push-up position. 1 more time. Inhale, lower halfway down, chin into the mat. Exhale, push all the way up, high plank. Breathe deep here, strong core. Can you lower your hips a little bit here, looking towards your mat. And then inhale, actually exhale, lower all the way onto your belly, untuck your toes, leave the hands where they are, and then inhale into cobra pose, reach up, lift your chest, elbows are drawing together, shoulder blades are drawing together. You can look up, or maybe you look towards the mat. Keep breathing. And then exhale, chin into the mat. Inhale, come back up, cobra. Exhale, chin into the ground. Inhale, cobra, press through your hands and your arms. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. And let's hold the cobra here a little bit. Okay, your legs are as soft as jelly butter. The top of your feet is pressing firmly to the ground, firmly through your hands. Your fingers spread wide, looking towards your mat or looking forward. Or maybe you like to bring your head back a little bit if you're warm enough, but it's still early on. So what tends to happen is that all that pressure and the curve is mainly in the lower back. If you feel like you want to change that up today a little bit, which I would highly recommend, bring a little bit of a bend into your elbows so that the curve is also in the mid back and the upper back. And the pressure is not only in the lower back. Breathing here. And exhale, chin into the ground. Tuck your toes, press through your arms, high plank. Inhale and exhale into downward facing dog. Okay, so let's flow here a little bit. Step towards the top of your mat, slowly enjoying every single step. Forward fold, inhale, glance up, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Airplane wing your arms left and right, and with a fat inhale, come all the way up towards the sky. You can bend back if you like to, that feels good. And exhale, forward fold. Hop or step back into high plank. And then lower all the way down into your belly, untuck your toes. Inhale, cobra here, maybe this time a little higher. It's a little warmer. Exhale, chin into the ground, tuck your toes, lift up into high plank, and exhale into down dog. Breathe here. Okay, so notice, have you kept the connection with your breath? Did your mind already wander and drift? Trying to problem solve, trying to plan, trying to drift away into past time experience or into the future. Simply notice, don't judge, it's okay. Okay, and then step towards the mat, 6 inches increments here. Really enjoying every single step, really consciously. And then forward fold. Inhale, glance up, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Airplane wing your arms left and right. Lengthen everything you could potentially lengthen in your body here. With a fat inhale, come all the way up towards the sky. Maybe bend back if that's good here in your spine. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Hop or step back into high plank. Exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Untuck your toes. Keep the arms where they are. Inhale, cobra here. Exhale, lower all the way down. Chin into the mat. Tuck your toes. Lift up, high plank. And exhale, down dog. And getting a little warmer. We're getting there. As you inhale, step forward towards the top of your mat. Inhale, glance up. Exhale, forward fold. Your arms bringing you with the inhale up and towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold, melt down. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Step or hop back into high plank. And then lower all the way down onto your belly. Untuck your toes, come into cobra, press into your hands. If you want an extra challenge, you can bend your legs now and try to bring your head towards your feet. But only if you feel like that might be a cool challenge or your body allows you here. Ask your body for permission. Don't jam yourself into a position. Trying a little bit first, and maybe you go a little deeper. And exhale, bring your chin back into the ground, press into your hands, high plank, and exhale, down dog. Full breath in and a full breath out. Breathing here, and if you have maybe lost a little bit the connection with your breath, if your mind started wandering into different places, but the present time experience here, then maybe the down dog is your home base to bring yourself back. Breathing in and breathing out, let your head dangle free. And then inhale, bring the weight into your left foot, reach your right leg up, three-legged dog. Open up your hip here. And also here, allow yourself to slowly come into the posture. Trying first, see how it feels, and maybe you like to come a little deeper. Maybe your body will give you the permission. Your body is your best friend. Ask your friend for permission. And then inhale, shift forward, plank, but drawing your right knee towards your left elbow. So you don't need to touch your left elbow, but can you play here, flirt with the height of your right knee? And yes, it's really challenging. Breathe here, use your breath. One more breath. Exhale, right leg back towards the sky, three-legged dog. Inhale, right knee towards your chest in the middle, really activating your core, and flirt with the height here. Inhale, back up. And then exhale, your right knee towards your right elbow. Maybe you can keep here, flirt with the height, or maybe you like to bring your right knee on top of your right upper arm. And if you want an extra challenge, inhale and lower your chin into the ground for a moment. Exhale, come back up. Woo. Right leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog. And then swing your right foot softly and gently through and in between your hands. Breathing here in low lunge. And then bring your left knee into the ground and tuck your back toe. And then bring your right hand on the inside of your right foot. Both your hands on the left side of your right foot. Maybe slide your left knee a little back, looking towards your mat. And maybe you like to stay here, even take a block. And come up on the block here, just working a little bit on our hip crease and opening up the right hip a little bit. It's nice to stay up here. It's really expanding and opening up the heart space and the chest. Or if you like to, you can also come onto your forearms and bring the palms into the ground. But maybe that is way too much for you. And it's way too much because everybody is so different. You might already get the full benefit up here. For those that are more flexible, even hyper flexible, they have to work a little harder here. And really sink deep into your right hip. And maybe you can even let your right knee drop a little towards the right. Or if you want an extra challenge and there's a little room to explore today, you can come onto the outer edge of your right foot and let your right knee just drop towards the right. You can close your eyes here for a moment and let your head relax. Breathe deep. I was telling last week I was in this specific pose. I think I was using this example of someone knocking at someone's door, right? And that person, that homeowner, might have this little chain on the door from the inside and might just open up the door a little tiny bit before opening it all the way and keeping the chain on first. Because that person might want to check who's outside. What's going on outside? And if that person might feel safe, it might take off the chain and open up the door all the way. And this is how I imagine the body. That dance with your body. Not jamming into a position and pushing and thinking, no pain, no gain. But being gentle and like knocking at the door of your body and see how what your body needs. And what's too much. And then from here, you can come onto your hands. Come all the way up if you haven't yet. Tuck your back toe under. Lift your left knee off the ground. And then you can bring your right hand back on the outside of your right foot. Spin your back heel down, and then with or without a block, you can bring your right hand on the outside of your right foot, reaching your left arm up towards the sky. Okay, now I'm going to work on opening up the whole left side of the body. Still really deep in our right hip. If this is way too much for you, and if it's just not the right thing, come onto your thigh with your right forearm. It's much more gentle on your right hip. Still getting the full benefit here. Maybe you look up towards your left hand. If you're here with your hand on the outside of your right foot in the mat or in a block, let your right knee really pass your right arm. Right? And breathe here. Notice if your back pinky is rooted in the ground, all your 10 toes. Lift them up for a moment, bring them back into the ground. Can you back bend a little further here, opening up the heart, letting the heart lead the way. And then slowly bring your left hand back into the ground, as well as your right. Come onto your left toes. And then with a fat, big inhale, come all the way up into crescent lunge here. Whew. Feeling it in our right thigh. Okay, can you bring your left knee a little closer towards the ground without bending your left leg, but driving a little deeper into your right? Tucking your navel in and up. Relax your shoulders, looking up. If this is too much, bring your left knee into the ground. Nice modification, still getting the nice benefits of yoga here. Why? Because it's a body-based meditation. The physical effects of it is a nice side effect. It's really just preparing us for our meditation here. Massaging all our organs and stretching, lengthening the body. Breathe here. And then from here, parallel your feet towards the left, lengthening both your legs. Reaching the prayer up towards the sky. Grab your hip with your hands. And then dive forward with a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. So you might bring your hands now into the mat, onto a block, keeping the flat back. Or maybe you like to work on bending your elbows a little further and bring your hands right in between your legs. And maybe you can bring the crown of the hat into the ground. Breathing here. You can even bring your hands behind you if that feels good. And scooping them underneath your legs. And really feel how the outer sides of your legs are working, all your 10 toes firmly rooting into the ground. Whole nice stretch in the back of your legs and your calves and your hamstrings. And then from here, without moving your right hip, grab your left ankle with your right hand. And then for leverage, you can bring your left hand to grab the back of your calf. And then twisting and turning towards the left. But leave your right hip where it is. Don't take your right hip with you. Okay, now bend and twist on your own degree. So while I give you almost general, not general, also general, but generic instructions here, I really want you to individualize this practice. So every time we come into the pose to your own degree. This is a place that is judgmental free, safe space to express and explore your body and your limits and your boundaries and healing. Maybe you can look up towards the sky and the ceiling here, twisting a little deeper, and then exhale. Eventually come back to center. Crawl your hands back forward towards the top of your mat, bringing your feet back into crescent lunge position. Step your left foot back, high plank. Exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. It has been a while, so gently here into cobra as you inhale. Exhale, lower your shin into the ground. One more time, inhale, cobra. And exhale, lower down. Press into your hands, tuck your toes, press up into high plank, and exhale, downward facing dog. So when did the tool become the master? The tool to navigate relationships and life and things and situations with a mind that is so intelligent and so active. When did that become the master? Why is it not the mindful part of us that's the master? Maybe you want to make it the master again, returning back home and to your true, authentic self. And then bringing the weight onto your right foot, reach your left foot up and towards the sky. Open up your hip, three-legged dog. You can draw circles with your hip here. Just notice, can you shift the weight evenly in your hands, left and right? Breathing deep and maybe opening up a little more. And then shifting forward with your left leg still up into the air, into high plank, bringing your left knee onto or close towards your right elbow. Flirt with the height here. Challenging situation. Use your breath. Stay calm. Can you bring your left knee a little higher? Press into your hands. Activate your core. Long spine, long neck. Exhale back towards the sky. Inhale, left knee towards your head and your chest. Inhale back up to center. Three-legged dog. Left side. Deep inhale. And exhale, bring your left knee onto your left forearm. Or if this is way too much for you, you just wait for us in three-legged dog, down dog. Okay, this is really challenging. But if you want to add a little cherry, maybe you can bend your elbows and lower and bring your shin into the mat for a moment. Exhale, back in three-legged dog. And then swing your left leg and your left foot gently in between your hands. Low lunge, runner's lunge. And drawing your right hip a little forward, your left hip a little back, gazing towards your mat. Maybe on your fingertips, maybe your hands are all the way in the ground. And then bring your right knee into the ground, your left hip as well on the inside of your left foot. You can stay up here. Maybe even coming onto a block. Untuck your back toe. Maybe slide your right knee a little further back. And most importantly, breathe. Is your breath free? Is your breath deep? And using your breath as a measurement at where your mind might be. As a measurement if you might have to slow down a little bit or if there might be a little room to challenge yourself a little more today. If you like to, you can also come onto your forearms, of course. Leave it up to you and asking gently and respectful your body. Maybe coming onto your forearms first and just feeling into it for a moment. Knocking at the door and asking your body, can I go a little further, my friend? And then maybe you can come onto the outer edge of your left foot and letting your left knee drop towards the left. You can let your head relax here and close your eyes for a moment. Breathing in and full breath out. And allow yourself with every exhale to sink maybe a little deeper, or maybe now it's time to come out a little bit. I want to congratulate actually everyone who comes out of the pose earlier. Getting out of your ego and coming into your heart. listening to your body, to the sensations that you feel, and not just jamming into something. That's just really what the modern society is teaching us, that the more the better. That we need to suffer, that we need pain in order to gain, or to be strong, or to be successful. I don't think so. And then from here, you can come back onto your hands, come back onto your left foot and tuck your back toe under, spin your left foot down, and then bring your left hand on the outside of your left foot, and then reaching your right arm up towards the sky as you inhale. And can you open up the whole right side of your body, your right hip, as you sink a little further into your left knee, really opening up the biggest muscle in your body. Sitting around your hip, your glutes, your glute muscles, and then firmly pressing into the left hand. Can you reach and draw your beautiful energy a little further up towards the sky while you're drawing the energy as well down into your right leg, into the ground, connecting with the earth here, or modify and bring your left forearm on top of your left thigh. Can you back bend a little bit here, opening up your chest and your heart? And breathe here. And then bring your right hand back into the ground, as well as your left runner's low lunge. Parallel your, coming up with your next inhale here into crescent lunge all the way up. Not going to stay too long here. But can you draw your navel in and lift your chest? Sink a little deeper into your left leg. Bring your right knee a little closer towards the ground without bending it. Relax your forehead. Relax your jaw. Breathe. And then from here, spin your back heel down, parallel your feet towards the right. Bringing your hands, reach your arms up and maybe bend a little back, throwing your head gently back. And then bring your hands onto your hip with a flat back. Exhale, lower down. You can bring the hands into the ground, stay up here with a flat back. Maybe your hands even on a block, or maybe you like to come a little further down. Breathe here. Can you feel both your pinkies touching and pressing into the ground, into the earth for a strong foundation? And then from here, without moving, we're on that side, I think that's the right side, without moving your left hip, can you grab with your left hand, your right ankle? And for leverage, you can bring your right hand onto your calf. Keep the left hip just where it was. Don't move your left hip with you. And look towards your right foot, or maybe towards the ceiling. Maybe you like to just rest your head onto your left arm. Carry your head like a little baby. Resting it on your arm and looking through your legs here. You can close your eyes for a moment. Then really twist here to your own personal degree. I don't know where your degree is. I don't know what your degree looks like. I don't know your boundaries. your flexibility. I don't feel your sensations, so take my generic instructions and feel into your body. Two more breaths here. And then curl your hands back to center, forward, and come into a low lunge. Looking towards the top of your mat, your hands framing your left foot. Step your left foot back, high plank. Exhale, lower all the way down and tuck your toes. Inhale, cobra gently. It has been a while. You can even bend your legs if you like to, and practice bringing your head towards your feet. And exhale, lower your chin to the ground. Tuck your toes, lift up into high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, back to home base. Connect with your breath. Check in with yourself and notice if there are any changes, any shifts in your body, in your emotions, on your mind since we started 15 minutes ago. Where do all these classes go? 50 minutes. How did that happen? Okay. From here, 6 inches increments, step towards the top of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, long spine. Stretching and lengthening everything that's fathomable. And then forward fold. Uttanasana, your arms winging and bringing you up with a fat inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. Step your right foot back into low lunge. And then heel toe, your left foot towards your right hand. Okay? And then bring your shin into the ground, your left knee into the ground, and tuck your back toe for pigeon pose here. You can stay up here with your left knee close to your left hand, your left foot close to your right wrist. You can stay up here and enjoy this opening pigeon here with your heart expanding. You can even bring your hands behind you. Sometimes I like that, and then just bending back, staying up here, maybe on your 2 blocks on each hand. Or if you want to come a little deeper, of course you can bring your forearms into the ground. Knocking at the door, how far can I go? What am I feeling? And right now I want you to bring your left foot further up towards your right hand or further down towards your right hip crease to your own degree. And of course, if you want to come deeper, you can bring your forehead into the ground and just stay here. For everyone that can't do the specific pose because of any knee issues, or if that's just way too much for you, you can come onto your back, bending both your knees, and then bring your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Exact same pose, just on your back. And then you can bring your left hand onto your left knee and your right hand on your right knee, and gently push here a little and explore. Really working on bringing both your shoulders into the ground. And wherever you are, just breathe. So, once we stay here, you will notice that your mind will send you stories, things that seem so important to think about. But have you ever thought about that? Everything we think about and all these thoughts are things that we already know. So why dwelling in something we already know? Why keep coming back to thoughts that I already have? past or future scenarios I've already thought through. Why do I keep coming back over and over again, like playing this CD or cassette? I don't even know how you guys say that in English. It's cassette in German. That record, playing that over and over again. Why? That's when I was asking myself, when did the tool become the master? So why not breaking that program? Why not changing that program? So any moment I might think into the future or into the past, am I missing out on my life? Right now, right here? Possibly. And then you can slowly come up onto your hands and then tuck your left toe under and bring your left foot back wherever you are. Come back into high plank. Breathe here. Exhale, lower all the way down. Untuck your toes. Inhale into cobra one more time before we close our practice. Exhale, lower your chin into the ground. Tuck your toes. Press up into high plank and downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up and swing your right foot through and in between your hands. Heel toe, your right foot closer towards your left wrist and bring your shin into the ground. Untuck your left toes. And now your right knee is close to your right hand. Into your own degree. The further you lower your right foot, the more you lower your right foot towards your left hip crease, the less intense it will probably be. The higher you bring your right foot to your left hand, the more intense it will be in the hips. And of course, your choice, yogi's choice. You can bring your forearms into the ground or come into sleeping pigeon here, bringing your forehead all the way into the ground. Or maybe you grab a block and bring the block right underneath your third eye. Sometimes I like to do that. And just breathing deep here so you can give your mind a little food, a little something to latch onto. Did you notice that if you breathe deep that you can really focus on anything else? Anybody who can be super focused on the breath and the present time experience and can think about something else, definitely DM me. I want to know how that works. So use that deep breath as your guide and your tool, and you'll master your tool to come back into the present moment. And soften with every exhale. And a little further here. Let go, let go. And really, that practice can also be called really touching the body in so many different places, so hyper gently. It's like making love to your body, being nice and gentle and kind. Your body is your best and important partner here. And you can come onto your hands slowly out of the pose, or if you were on your back, you can tuck your back toe and come back into high plank. And exhale into down dog. Bring your knees into the ground. Cross your ankles here and come to sit on your sit bones. Reaching and stretching your your legs forward. And I know we're a little over here, guys. I don't know. 60 minutes is not enough. Let's hang out another hour. And from here, reach your palms forward and slowly in control with your palms facing out, roll all the way onto your back. Slowly, as slow as you can. And this is also an asana, even though we're coming into the final asana. This is transition asana. So breathe. Breathe deep all the way until the last vertebra touches the ground, and then bring your knees into your chest for a moment and give yourself the biggest hug. Thank you, heart, for guiding me and my strong lungs and my strong legs and all my limbs. And thank you, myself, for showing up today. And then squeeze and bring your forehead close to your knees and squeeze every single muscle that you could potentially squeeze in here. Your hands, your toes, your legs, your thighs, your glutes, your core. And then on your exhale, let everything go and let your legs stretch out in front of you and let your arms rest on the sides of your body with your palms facing up or down, and make this starfish here. Take up all that space. Don't make yourself small. Take up all the space you need. And for our closing meditation here for a couple minutes, close your eyes. And as you were following and focusing on your deep breath now, I want you to focus on your subtle breath here. It might be a little more challenging. But this is really the work of a meditator. To keep pulling yourself back and back and back and back into this present moment. And let your legs relax and your feet spread out towards the right and the left. And your jaw, and soften your eyes and your eyelids, your ears, your eyebrows, your lips. And use your inhale, your sweet, soft inhale, to come back if you notice your mind is drifting. Bring your left hand onto your heart and your right hand onto your belly if that feels good to you, and just feel your heartbeat here for a moment. Just breathe here. And then from here, I'm going to put an official end to this class, but I invite you to stay a little longer here in this Shavasana resting pose. I really actually highly recommend that. We have so little time here in 60-65 minutes, and you deserve a longer rest, and I'm sure it will be very beneficial to you. Thank you guys. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today in this practice. Stay resting in Shavasana.
or come out, and definitely have a lot of tea and water now after this practice, and then I hope to see you soon. And this is actually the last time I will teach before the new year, but I do teach at another, I will streamline online for another yoga studio twice, on the 28th, and actually I will give a New Year's class, which is cool, on the 1st January. So if you're interested, DM me. I'll send you the link and we can connect. You can come join me. All right, guys. Namaste. Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, Laura. Bye, Elizabeth. Everyone.
Bye. Namaste. Thank you.